injection molds. Yes, in the automotive industry is going through challenges of, one is maintaining their costs, delivery, and the changing scenario of electric vehicles coming in. And it's a challenging sort of industry which is there with high growth potential. And we thought that the seminar would be one which would sort of be in line with what the industry needs. And it takes my pleasure to welcome you all for the program. And like as Gaurang pointed out, we would make this seminar, we would like the seminar to be an interactive one. So ensure that you have lots of questions. We would like to take in those questions. And if we can accommodate it at the program, we will accommodate it. Otherwise, the people who have delivered the lectures will get back to you if you post in the right, your contact details on those. Giving this, I welcome you all again and wish the program a great success. And by the looks of it, it's going to be a success. And thank you all. And again, once again, welcome and thanks. Bye.
Yes, thank you, Ramaswamy, sir, for that very, very pleasant welcome. I am now pleased to invite Mr. Abhay Upadhyay, Vice Chairman, Governing Council, Indian Plastics Institute, to give us a glimpse into IPI and its activities. Over to you, Abhay, sir.
Thank you, Gaurang. Good afternoon to everybody. And it's overwhelming to see so many people joining at this moment. This is going to be a wonderful seminar for sure. Indian Plastic Institute as such doesn't need much of an introduction, but yet let me introduce you to an old organization started in 1985. Pan-India presence, we have almost 16 chapters and close to 3,000 members actively working for Indian Plastic Institute. We, as you know, we conduct a lot of webinars, seminars. We do a lot of endowment lectures, memorial lectures. We also do technical small lectures or called, say, coffee table meets and something like that. We IPI undertakes a big corporate learning program where they invite corporates to know about plastic, or if there is a plastic industry who wants to know more about the processing and all. Apart from this, we also do a lot of student activities where we, across India, we have 23 chapters in leading engineering colleges. And we do take students out to industry to know what really the industry is and what the academia is teaching them. Apart from this, IPI has been running successfully a diploma course to all those who have interested in maybe non-plastic people or plastic people who want to enhance their skill. Overall, we have a lot of webinars. We also run a regular bi-monthly journal with very in-depth technical things. So in a way, I would like everybody who is still not a member of IPI to join IPI. Please welcome you all. I hope you really like all the three learned speakers speaking today. Thank you, Gaurang.
Thank you, Abhay bhai. Thank you so much on that. Yes, we move ahead as is customary with IPI endowment events. We will start off with the presentation by the company Madhu, under the aegis of whom today's event has been organized. I'm now pleased to introduce Mr. Abhinav Shah. Mr. Abhinav is an electronics engineer who started his career in plastics industry in 2013. He has gained experience over various facets of business, including servicing, designs, and technical customer support. He has received training at various overseas companies in Europe. Currently based out of Delhi, he handles key accounts across India, South Asia, Middle East, and Africa. He is a life member at Indian Plastics Institute and has made several presentations on subjects related to contemporary solutions for the plastics processing and tooling industries. Once again, warmly welcome, Mr. Abhinav. I request you to take it over from here and kindly continue your presentation over the next 5 minutes, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And a very good afternoon to all the respected participants and the panelists here at the webinar. I would also like to thank IPI for this wonderful opportunity to share information about Madhu Company and our contribution in the space of process technologies for automotive industries. I am very honored to present a brief on Sri Madhubai, the founder.
Sorry, Abhinav, can you unmute?
Am I audible now?
Yeah, it's perfect. You switched on the two mics, so that's why you have to unmute.
Yes. Okay, I thank you, sir. I would also like to thank IPI for this wonderful opportunity to share information about Madhu Company and our contribution in the space of process technologies for automotive industries. I am very honored to present a brief on Sri Madhubai, the founder of Madhu Company, especially so since today, 28th August is his birthday anniversary. Sri Madhubai was one of the most versatile plastic professional turned successful entrepreneur, who is respected by one and all for his missionary service to the plastic industry. A first-class plastic technologist with over 6 decades of wealth and experience in various plastic fields, and was a well-known personality both in Indian plastic industry and globally, in various countries, especially in Europe and Asia. After his 25 years of industrial experience in variety of plastic processes, he started Madhu Company in the year 1984 with the sole purpose of bringing together innovative production technologies suitable in Indian context. Thus was born Madhu Group, providing innovative solutions with many of these technologies being introduced for the first time in Indian plastic industry. In view of his pioneering efforts, he is widely regarded as the father of hot runner industry evolution in India. As a further service to Indian plastic industry, he established Madhu Technology Center at Bangalore, which provides additional knowledge to students on contemporary tooling and process technologies. In recognition to his contribution and development to plastic industry, Madhubai was awarded the most prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by IPI. Another highlight was when he was recognized by the Austrian Chamber of Commerce of having furthered the Indo-Austrian trade of specialty auxiliaries in plastic industry. Throughout his life, Madhubai was connected with various social services. He will be long remembered for his enthusiasm, entrepreneurship, and servitude towards the plastic industry. I will now briefly cover the pioneering work done by Madhu in the field of technologies for the mold and machinery over the past 3 decades. With respect to the molds, the contributions are in the field of hot runner systems and exatem controllers, innovative mold parts, servo unscrewing systems, and numerous advanced technologies like vacuum jet systems, all of which contribute in production of better quality plastic with faster and more economical solution, ensuring competitiveness at a global level. On machinery front, energy-saving dehumidification systems and internal cooling systems from our Austrian partners Blueair. Examix static mixer greatly influence the part quality and production consistency. Our own brands, Exa Test for mold testing units and Exa Inject for additional injection unit add value to entire process. In view of the paucity of time, I will cover only Exa Inject and Exa Mix process technologies in the presentation. Exa Inject, a Madhu brand, covers hydraulic additional injection units and rotary platens. These are widely introduced in 2016 and have been successfully installed in variety of configuration, either in vertical execution or mounted on the fixed platen as per the pic on the top right-hand side of the slide, or horizontal configuration on the non-operator side as seen in the picture on the top left-hand side. The rotary platens are customized to suit the main injection machine. I am extremely happy to inform that as part of Make in India initiative, we are now offering 100% in indigenized additional injection unit from our Bangalore facility. Once again, Madhu has done pioneering work by manufacturing these units for the first time in India. Applications that have been catered to are closures, oral care, personal care products, houseware items, cap for agrochemical, writing instruments, medical parts, and automotive components. Most of the projects are confidential, so the pictures seen in this slide are only examples of parts from automotive industry. This slide now shows actual ExaInject installation done in India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, both in vertical and horizontal configuration. Our engineering team ensures complete electrical, electronic, and mechanical interface with the main machine. Most of the installations are on the new machine with compatibility achieved on Fanuc, Engel, Melacron, L&T machines, and even very old Chenchong machines. The conversion of the 1K machine to 2K machine is made possible. This now adds tremendous value and very short ROI for the customer. As it is truly said that the quality of injection molded part is influenced by the melt homogeneity. However, the machine screw has to perform two contradictory functions. First, it has to plasticize, that is mix, and also to inject, that is pump the polymer. As we know, a good pump is not an efficient mixer and vice versa. Hence, it's of critical importance that the mold melt homogeneity is maintained. Exa mix static mixers help achieve this with ease and are a standard recommendation from our end for automotive components, especially those which form part of assemblies requiring tight mold tolerances. I would like to end my endowment presentation here and look forward to covering specific technologies for automotive plastic injection molds in my next presentation. I once again thank IPI for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Abhinav. Thank you for respecting the time allotted. It's now my pleasure to introduce one of the stalwarts of the automotive industry, Shri Shalabh Sangalji. Mr. Shalabh Sangal has done his BTech from the Dayal Bagh Educational Institute, Agra, and has over 3 decades of experience in the automotive sector, starting off with 10 years at Supreme Industries Limited and the recent 22 years at Modiruku Technology India Private Limited, MTI. At MTI, he has initiated a management transformation platform named as VHM, which is Visual and Holistic Management. Over the last 5 years, VHM has been studied and recognized and implemented not only in India, but by Honda and Modiruku Group globally. That is indeed an amazing and fantastic achievement. Mr. Shalabh Sangal is an avid reader, with Mr. Stephen Covey being one of his favorite authors. He teaches management in an extempore form, based completely out of practical experiences. He has been a valued speaker at several webinars on various prestigious platforms, speaking on very interesting subjects, especially those related to future of learning and employment post-COVID-19, how to navigate into the future with this given scenario and succeed in the new normal, looking back to 2020 and beyond. All of us are indeed fortunate to have with us today. And on behalf of IPI, I once again warmly welcome you and request you to kindly enlighten us with your experience over the next 20-25 minutes. Over to you, Shalabh Sangal ji, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gaurang ji. So first of all, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Please go ahead,
Thank
sir.
you.
Please
Thank you very much. And it was like a it is my pleasure to be here and getting an opportunity to express my views on such a very relevant topic, which is related to automobile. And I really especially thank to IPI and Madhu Machines team for organizing such a grand initiative. So I would like to share my screen now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and share.
So is it visible to everybody, I hope?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So as already been communicated that today's endowment webinar of IPI, and the topic is related to advances in automotive plastic, injection mold, challenges and solution. So I will be trying to express my views. So before that, I would like to make a little brief introduction about Moriruku. Moriruku is basically is a Japanese company, and the tagline is moving beyond 350 years. Yes, this is correct. This is a 350 years old company, and as of now, it is almost 358 years they have completed. Considering this global network, the Moriruku has about 10 location, the manufacturing location outside of Japan, and many R&D and trading offices around the globe. Just about the brief of history, the inception of the Moriruku happened in 1663. That time they were involved in some indigo chemical and some manure. Maybe that time nobody is much aware about the activities. However, their actual journey started in 1909 when they started doing business in India in the same line, and they started importing the indigo chemicals, considering their high quality and the less cost to the Japan and many other countries. So the kind of a trading has started. In 1958, practically they entered into the manufacturing business with Honda in Japan with the two-wheeler vehicle, and they started supplying injection molding and some metal part also. Same in 1963, after 5 years, they gained up their activities and started supplying the four-wheeler parts as well to Honda in the metal, because that time metal was more of importance, and then some plastics included. In 1980, they set up their first manufacturing plant in United States. So they expand globally, and a trading office in Hong Kong. As far as the India is concerned, they entered Indian market in 1996 along with the Honda, because Honda also entered the same time in India, and the manufacturing plant was being established at Noida, very near to the Honda facility in UP, Uttar Pradesh. With the expansion of manufacturing facilities with Honda, and the Honda also established a new plant in Rajasthan, Bhiwadi area. So MTI is also established a new plant in the Kaharani industrial area in Bhiwadi region in 2015. This is about the brief activities, manufacturing activities being done by MTI. This is injection molding, assembly, vibration welding, and paint process, interior and exterior both. The business activities are mainly focused in like hand wrapping. We have internal hand wrapping activities, manufacturing activities, then two-wheeler parts with exterior paint, then interior parts for four-wheeler, and then exterior part for four-wheeler as well. This is the brief outline of the parts what MTI is producing, and this is our global outline. The exterior and interior parts, you can see all kind of parts is being manufactured related to IP instrument panel, then air outlets and exterior. We have the front grille, cowl top, and spoiler, etc. The total manufacturing system involved the R&D activity. So the main R&D activity is being done either in Japan or in Asia. Asia means mainly Thailand. And the development of production technologies means development of mold and other related customer related development activities is all being done in India with the support of Japan. And the final product manufacturing is being done in India only. So when we are talking about the development here, so I would like to explain that the 95% of the tooling, injection molding tooling, because the today's subject is about related to injection molding toolings. So it is being developed in India. Only 5% of the Honda car injection molding tooling is being developed outside of India. So that's a great achievement. And I think all the OEMs are now following this. And it is a great advantage as on today to the Indian industry. So this is again, as I explained, that we have two plants, Noida and Bhiwadi, and the main customer is Honda, but currently MTI is open for other customer as well. And our USP, as explained, that we started some VHM activity about 5 years ago. So we call it shop floor management. So in Japanese, it is being called monozukuri. Monozukuri means the shop floor management. It's very important as far as the Japan is concerned in the context of manufacturing activities. Now I come back to the webinar topic, and specifically today my focus is on automotive plastic injection mold quality and customer expectations. I will try to express my views on the quality and customer expectations related to injection mold. See, before we proceed further, because we are talking here about the quality and customer expectation, so it is necessary for us to understand the evolvement in the perception of quality in the last few decades. I will just show and the timelines. Like if I talk about the 70s, because I can imagine, because this is all my own perceptions. So in 70s, the quality means was only Q. It was only Q, and it was being assumption that only the Q is the quality. However, somewhere in 80s, late 80s, I will talk about the late 80s, the D has been added to the Q. Then the Q and D as a combination was being considered as a good quality. And just on the back that I would like to explain that in late 1975, my father wanted to buy a scooter. So that time only the Bajaj was there, and the two models, Bajaj Chetak and Bajaj Priya, was available. So he told me that if he want to buy the Priya, then it is almost 1 to 2 years delivery time. And if he want to buy Chetak, then it was only available with the US dollar currency. So you can see the kind of monopoly the industry was having in during that timing. So delivery was, of course, of no importance. However, in 1991, we already know with the industrial globalization in India, with the finance minister Manmohan Singh was there, and the industrial globalization ramped up, and then many multinational companies entered into the Indian market. And of course, then we started learning the significance of competitiveness, the C. So the quality as such has been converted into QCD. So three terms are being termed as quality. After one decade of industrial globalization, the industry start feeling that without the development and management, without the good development management, the QCD cannot be achieved. The first three QCD cannot be achieved. So industry started focusing on the good governance, which is a development and management in across the industry, and how they started initiating the true competitiveness in the market. In my opinion, that time it is being called as a comprehensive quality management. When we talk about QCDDM, it's a comprehensive quality management. However, it was not enough. In 2010, somewhere in 2010, the industrial safety came into the importance because of the global pressure and because of the global scenario was changing. So Indian industry started feeling that without making a focus on the industrial safety, the QCDDM is having no meaning. So, and it was a prime factor that S has been added before the QCDDM. So safety was the first. So they started calling SQCDDM. Now, what happened in 2015? I would like to mention here so that everybody should know. Across the industry, a new social and environmental factor was being added, because in 2015, in a United Nations resolution, in a United Nations meeting at New York, a global target 2030 was being freezed up in the form of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. And the 17 goals was being decided across the globe, where every country and every government have to initiate those goals. And they were mainly focused on the social and environmental factors. So finally, after 2015, in my own perception, the quality means SQCDDM-SE completely as a holistic quality management. So the comprehensive quality management has completely turned over to the holistic quality management. And what has been added is a human spirit in the form of safety, social and environmental factors. So you can see how the situation has changed in the last 50 years, and how the meaning of quality and way of our working has taken a big transformation. Now I will keep this as a center of my presentation, SQCDDM-SE. Now, since our topic is today related to the automotive tooling injection mold, where everybody always want to seek a highest level of performance and effectiveness. Now, when we are talking about the automotive tooling or any other product, so there are many stakeholders who are involved in making that kind of process actual. And here the first kind of a stakeholder is the tool and other accessory manufacturers, maybe the steel manufacturers, accessory manufacturers, and finally who is making finally creating the tool. So I try to establish some of the target from such kind of stakeholders, like maybe I am not able to completely list out, however, like customer involvement, so understanding expectations of the customer, QCDD, then meeting customer expectations, provide new and upgraded technological solutions, reasonable profit, and a repeat customer. So these are the few of the targets of these stakeholders. The next stakeholders are injection part manufacturers, where the MTI stands here. So if we see the injection parts manufacturers, what we need: speed, quality, consistency of produce, means efficiency, meeting short life of tooling, means if the life is 5 lakh piece, so it should complete 5 lakh without any problem, reasonable cost, precise scheduling, on time development, lower maintenance, and of course after service, means completely value for money. However, now the OEMs come into the picture, and OEMs is asking, okay, are we able to meet SQCDDM-SE for all stakeholders? Means the OEM understand, if everybody is meeting this kind of concept, it's a win-win-win situation for everybody. And nevertheless, to mention, see, OEM is directly related to the end user, and end user are the we people of this world. And since we are living in a society, so it is OEM's first and foremost responsibility to, as a front runner, to care about the society and to take care of the human spirit. So it is mandatory for them to understand all the running concepts, latest concepts, and make them implemented for all the stakeholders where they are being connected. Now I try to here the list out about the few concepts, and these are the 6 management milestones for the confirmation of SQC DDM SE in every industry. Like PDCA, are we doing enough PDCA? Bottom constitution, continual improvements, digitalization, enhanced technological upgradation, and of course, confirm safety, social and environmental aspects. So these are the 6 management milestones which I try to derive from my experience, which will confirm that each and every industry is following the concept of SQC DDM SE, which is a win-win-win situation. Now it is our responsibility to identify the gap areas, considering these aspects for all the stakeholders. Considering this as a model, SQCDDM, it is a management model with 6 management milestones. I will try to explain one by one all the six milestones in brief. When we talk about the PDCA, so what is the meaning of PDCA? PDCA means confirmation of end-to-end objectives for each and every process, for each and every stages. It is mandatory to confirm the PDCA. Are we meeting our objectives? If we are not meeting, maybe we need to change the plan accordingly. Continual improvement. Confirmation of continual improvement on the daily basis. It's mandatory, very important that it should be made as a habit that everybody is having a confirmation of continual improvement, whether each and every process is improving or not on the day-to-day basis. And it is a digitalization. So, of course, we all know that without digitalization, there is no future. So we have to enhance our digitalization periodically. Then it comes to the new techniques, involve and implement latest and new upgraded techniques. Then it is a bottom constitution. So what is bottom constitution? Actually, nowadays, many OEMs are talking about this bottom constitution. So bottom constitution means say no to overburden, uneveness and waste. In Japanese, it is being called muri, mura and muda. So once we confirm, each and every stakeholder, each and every organization will confirm the bottom constitution means the best quality and with minimum cost. Each and every production process must compliance with the best quality and having a minimum cost. And in my experience, what I have experienced in 30 years, the bottom never comes. The bottom never comes. There is always continuous scope of improvement. So please continue to try here as a bottom constitution. And safety, social and environmental aspect. So ensure to be a responsible organization towards society. So this is the whole model, the whole management model of SQC DDM SE with 6 management milestone is the true competitiveness. This is a true competitiveness where any organization is ready for the future sustainability. Now this model already I explained with the 6 milestones along with together with collaborative teamwork. Now it's come very important actually. This is all what I am telling is based on my own practical experience, and this I try to cover some of my VHM activity here. Collaborative teamwork means proactivity, goal setting, responsibility, communication, and synergy within the organization by each and everybody. Now it is a management responsibility how to make this happen true. So we have to devise our own methodology, how to make a complete collaborative teamwork within the organization because this will make sure the perfect team alignment. And without this team alignment, as the 6 management model, what I explained earlier, is cannot be applied, cannot be applicable, and we will not be able to meet the goals. Once these two will combine, then this will make a futuristic approach. The futuristic approach means learn from past, work today, while continue to remain lean towards future. So this is how the model is required at the end of the day, every minute, the futuristic approach. And finally, this will create an unshakable foundation for all stakeholders. So we can see here how the OEM start checking about SQC, DDM, SE, and collaborative teamwork. And this is how a win-win-win situation is coming up day by day by following this kind of approach. Hence, while keeping collaborative teamwork in center, so injection toolings, highest level of performance and effectiveness, which means 100% when meet with the futuristic approach. And induct past learning means create potential improvement for future, combined efforts from all stakeholders while involving their own teams. Then we can achieve the customer satisfaction in the form of SQC, DDM, SE, because that will make sure that every automotive tooling is superior in this approach compared to the previous one. So this will continual improvement. Bottom constitution and any other new aspect which is emerging in today's society considering the change in the environment. Just for example, considering as a futuristic approach, what we have done many activities at MTI, and in Japanese it is being called as a kakotora. Kakotora means learning from past. So I would share some of the examples, like is a cross-functional team following the PDC approach. So some of the exemplary example I try to explain here. So this is like a related to the cooling efficiency, which is a bottom constitution. It was a completely teamwork. So at MTI team, the team try to understand the hot spots by the thermoscanning of the mold in the running condition. Then they could find a lot of problems during these things where the cycle times increases. So this kind of learning we have applied to all new toolings with our tool manufacturing companies, and then we started getting the benefit. You can see how the speed of produce has increased, and there is a substantial 8 to 10% increase in the cycle time only because of these kind of activities. Second is the hydraulic actuations. So this was in the category of continual improvement. As you know, that automotive toolings are using many cylinder actuations for the slider mechanism. So we realized that if the cylinder is not is of a good quality, and because we always need the high speed of the cylinder to meet the cycle time, then there is a damage in the parting lines. So to meet those requirements, the MTI team with other tool manufacturers started finding the solution of these problems, and we were able to find a lot of good solutions with high speed cylinders which were having a sufficient cushion at the end and before also. So there is no damage, and you can see the life expectancy has increased from 5 lakh to 6 lakh considering the parting line damage. The third was the ejector lifter mechanism. So this is, we are very much thankful to the my friend Sri Prakashan and Mastercraft team. They introduced this about 6 years ago in one of the projects. So that time we were very scared of using such kind of double rack system. However, it was such a wonderful system that now 100% of MTI molds, we are almost using the same double rack system, and you can see the benefit. The breakdown because of the lifter rod broken or mismatching of the lifter and subsequently damage in the cavity, that has completely become zero. So finally, the quality and customer expectations means holistic approach, and holistic approach and teamwork is customer satisfaction, which is finally win-win-win situation. So the crux of the presentation here, that we must have a perfect balance in the EQ and IQ. Usually we utilize IQ, but we are missing as the industry about the emotional quotient, because this quotient is the main teamwork. And this is one of my favorite one. Involve your heart and brain for accomplishment of the goals. So I would like to quote here one of the very famous quote by Mahatma Gandhi, that he says, and it is being actually mentioned by the Stephen Covey in his book with the name of Mahatma Gandhi only, that it is very easy to use hand and back of a person, but how to convert hand to heart and back to brain for the accomplishment of the goals. So where this is the actual, the true management functions lies here. So if we are able to utilize heart and brain of each and every individual working in our organization, so I think there is no looking back, and we will definitely be able to meet the competitiveness in today's environment. And then it will be easier to have an unshakable foundation in that condition. So see, unshakable foundation means what? As I explained, Moriroku is having a 350 years old history. And I would like to mention here, in Japan, 50 to 100 year industry history is very, very common, very common. And not only in Japan, these all industries are spread their wings globally. So we can understand that what kind of morale these industries have, what kind of principles and fundamentals they are operating, so that they are in such a stage where they can say, yes, we are a 100-year-old company. So this is how I see that Indian industry should approach with such kind of a long-term thinking and with certain principles and fundamentals to achieve unshakable foundation. So we can also say, okay, we are 50 years old company. Now, because many people ask me every time that, okay, you explain many theories, but how to achieve these kind of theories? Yes, it's a very difficult task, of course, because 5 years ago, I was also in the same situation. But then we try to start it. I thought, okay, I know many things, but how to use these things at actual shop floor platform? So I always say it's like a optimism is a way forward to have a holistic approach. And it's a very beautiful line here. Let's utilize only privileges available with humans, our own consign, wisdom, and self-imagination to find out our own new normal, considering variety of circumstances. Now you see, this new normal word, already last year we heard many new normal after the COVID came. And today also we understand that how the things have changed. Even now, before with the panelists and other members, we were discussing how the new normal is taking the shape. So this is how we can see there is no other solution with us. There is no other solution, express solution with anybody. We have to understand the circumstances, and we have to use our own consigned wisdom and self-imagination to correct and to counter those kind of circumstances every day. So from my side, I would like to suggest 5 mantras for this to meet the unshakable foundation and for the optimism. The first thing, the principles and fundamental centric approach. Now, what is this? This is that we must go back to the basic. Maybe we already diverted from the basic and we are following many superficial kind of things, which may not be necessary as on today. So back to the basic. Start thinking about your school, start thinking about your college, what the father, what our parents taught us, what our teachers taught us. So those kind of back to the basic, we should always see that connecting to your own roots, the change priorities to navigate uncertainty, goal setting, and endure management. Second mantra, evaluationary or creative consideration. So have a continual improvement approach. We already know, and I think everybody has learned in the science, the Darwinism theory. And Darwinism in 1980-60, he already cleared survival of the fittest. Those who are fit only will survive. This is what is going to happen after COVID-19 also. COVID-19 situation is something which now it is being understood that yes, there is a supreme power who is running the world. So you never know. So how to remain fit? Then only that will only decide our own survival in each and every scenario. The third one is enhanced participation. Means be proactive. Repeat concept of learn, do, and act. Synergetic persona. Respect to the individual. Soichiro Honda. When I am visiting the Honda, so on the reception, the Soichiro Honda, who established the Honda itself, his the first mantra is respect to the individual. No politics, teamwork, getting away from protective, defensive, and manipulative communication. This I want to repeat again and again. Getting away with protective, defensive, and manipulative communication. This is the need of our. We must give away our ego and pride. Then only we can have a synergetic persona, and that will create a teamwork, and then we can achieve the interdependent stage. Value creation techniques. Yes. Task with scenario planning. See, nowadays we can see in the context of COVID-19, all the plans, many industry, whatever plans, long-term plans they have made, everything has vanished. It's a completely scenario planning. Today, what you have to do? Today, what is my plan? How to accomplish it? Finish it today itself. The speed of the work is more important because you never know tomorrow what will happen. There's a lot of uncertainty into the future. So scenario planning, crisis management, and dramatic transformation of the business model is the key of our as of now. So I would like to end my views on this webinar with one of my most respectable and famous quote from Emerson, that which we persist in doing becomes easier, not that the nature of task has changed. How beautifully he has said, not the nature of task has changed, but our ability to do has increased. And this is what I have interpreted here below. Continual enhancement of our ability through futuristic consideration is the key for unshakable foundation. And this is applicable for every individual or for every organization. So thank you very much. Namaste for patiently listening. And I may not be able to express much more in detail because I am not versed much about this web kind of webinars. And so please excuse me if something is wrong in the explanation. Thank you.
Not at all, Sangalji. In fact, we are indeed honored to have been today party to some wonderful experiences that you have shared. Thank you so much for a very informative and a very precise presentation. It's very difficult actually to sum up the presentation and the information that you have shared. But if I can very briefly put in, firstly, it's hats off to Moriruku, to Honda, that 95% of the tooling is being developed in India. That is amazing, right? True. And this is what is really Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? So
you are right.
lot of applause and applause for that. Fantastic. As far as your presentation, sir, amazing. I can only say this, that you have explained the evolution of quality, right? And with all our hearts and brain, like you mentioned, we at IPI thank you for being with us today and for sharing this amazing presentation. Your talk has indeed, set up the stage for the next session, which is meeting customer expectations, right? And to take us through same, I'm pleased to introduce the hugely experienced and successful Mr. Sri Prakash, who having done his bachelor's in production engineering from PSG College of Technology, Coimbatore, followed it up with a diploma in tool design from GTTC Bangalore. He started his career with NTTF Industries Limited, having tremendous exposure in designing injection molds, press tools, pressure die casting dies, jigs, fixtures, and gauges, right? Well, the entrepreneurial spirit caught on to him, and he started Mastercraft Engineers Private Limited, Bangalore in 1991. The company caters to automotive, electrical, FMCG, electronics industry segments. He's very, very actively involved in design and manufacture of injection molds, being a very hands-on person. Production and supply of injection molded plastic components that completes the entire chain, and of course, oversees general management. It would be very prudent to mention here that he has actively contributed in numerous projects, adding tremendous value to many automotive majors, especially in the area of plastic injection molds. A few examples Sangalji shared with us. We are surely to benefit from his experiences. Sri Prakash sir, once again, warmly welcoming you from the entire team of IPI here. We look forward to your presentation, sir. Over to you for the next 20 minutes. Thank you so much.
So, good evening to all of you. Many thanks, Gaurang sir, for that nice introduction. And it's can you see my screen and am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are visible and audible both, sir. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Right. Okay.
But the presentation need to be shown.
Presentation needs to be shown.
Shared.
Is it visible now?
Sri Prakash ji, you will have to share your presentation. Yes. Nanda, could you assist, please? Thank you.
No, you have to do the presentation.
Nandakumar, you can just explain. No? Sir, there is one
Yeah.
column there, share screen in green color.
Radhakrishnan,
Share screen. Yeah.
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely
Yes,
clear, sir.
absolutely.
Please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Good evening to all of you. Sorry for the glitch. I am also very new to this. I'm not tech savvy person like many of you are. So first of all, I wish to thank IPI and Madhu Marketing for giving me this opportunity to be in this webinar. And also thanks to Salabsan, from whom I have personally learned a lot for his excellent presentation. So now, okay, so before I start the presentation on this actual topic, I would wish to share a few details about Mastercraft. Basically, because this entire presentation has been built on the learnings from that from this company. This company was started in the early 90s, basically as a CNC job shop for tool and die making elements. Subsequently, within a couple of years, we started making injection molds, very small size injection molds, and then moved on to plastic molding components as well. Today, we manufacture small molds that can go on a 50-ton machine to medium and large size molds up to 1500 ton machine locking tonnages. We are a team of about 200 people, and we build about 200 molds in a year, and we process about 850 tons of plastic material in a year. So I will run a very short video, maybe a couple of minutes, so that you will have an idea about Mastercraft. Thank you very much. So these are some of the parts for which we have either done the molds, or we are producing and supplying the parts, or we are doing both of this. As you can see, passenger car segment is a major area in which we are doing the molds. We are doing interiors, exteriors, and under bonnet parts. Other than that, the non-automotive business, consumer durables, electricals is a major segment for us. We're also into design and development of molds for 2K, two material components. We also produce and supply components in this area. Okay, now coming to the main topic, which is meeting customer expectations. So Salabsan has already given us exhaustive requirement. Of course, he has mentioned many more than what I'm mentioning here. QCD, from my perspective, still QCD, but I have to probably still go on a long way to meet the other alphabets of this quality requirement. I will touch upon only this QCDs now. The first one being quality. This is very critical, and this is mandatory, and there is no negotiations from our customer as far as the quality of molds, what they expect. So there is no, this is 100% has to be met in any case. The second thing is the delivery requirement. The delivery, in the sense, it's not the final delivery of the mold. It starts from the first sample, many stages of sampling, and then many production runs for meeting the event dates, and then finally the dispatch date. So delivery has to be met at all stages. It's not only one stage. The last one is the cost. Of course, customer expect the cost to be as low as possible. But I think these days the cost is perceived in a different manner. So I would say that together, quality, cost, and delivery comes the value for the molds what our customer is looking for. So now, where does this value of come from for the molds? Where does the value come from? So I have taken the top 5 expectations based on the experience, my experience, from what the customer expectations are. There are a few more in addition to that, but these are the top 5. The first one will be the productivity of the mold. The mold is expected to produce at very fast, 5 to times as fast as possible, churning out as many shots as possible in an hour or in a shift. The second one is no welding is expected to take place at the parting line for the entire lifetime of the mold. It's not for a short term in the beginning, but for the entire lifetime of the mold, the customers do not want any welding on the parting line. The third one will be to avoid any post molding manual operation that doesn't add any value to the entire process. The fourth one will be obviously no breakdowns, because most of these molds are either running on JIT or very minimal FG inventories. Last one is very critical because the molds, whichever have to be very easily maintained, whether it's breakdown or whether it's a preventive maintenance. The mold has to be done very fast, and the mold has to get into production mode as early as possible. So these are the 5 major parameters what our customers look for, which will derive value for whatever price they pay for the molds. So if you're able to, if the mold meets all these 5 requirements, there should be no reason why the customer will not be satisfied. Now, how do we get this? 5 parameters into the mold? The only option is from our side, we feel it is only the molds have to be very, very precise. Some of the time, the parts may not be so precise, but the mold has to be precise if it has to meet this these parameters. For example, the exterior and interior parts, basically they have a flush and gap tolerance of maybe 0.3 to 0.5. And probably if the mold, if the part is within plus minus 0.1, is it will meet the specifications of gap and flush without any issue. But this doesn't mean that the mold can be made in that tolerance. The mold has to be made very precise if it has to meet the 5 basic parameters what the customer is looking for. And now, how do we build this precision inside the mold? So in our view, the precision has to be built right through the entire mold manufacturing system itself. It starts from getting the input from the customer, doing the DFM analysis, getting the design done, and the process planning, machining, deciding on the BOP and standard parts. Assembly, of course, is very critical. Inspection and testing and debug. Through the entire stages, the quality has to be built inside. There's no one stage that we can do away with, which will be basically, that will be the deciding factor for the quality. So I'm going to touch upon the next slide, which is important for this entire presentation. I'm going to touch upon only the 2 processes. One is the machining and the other is borrowed parts and standard parts. So a precision mold, as I said, many parameters are there, but I will touch upon machining first. So in the machining also, there are many areas where the quality has to be built in. But I'll be majorly touching upon two systems, 2 parameters, I should say, which greatly influence the quality of the inserts of the mold. So 0-point system is something which is we are using quite widely for past many years, and we have got a tremendous amount of success in getting a very good quality mold and insert. So I would like to share some of our learnings so that it will probably be useful for the audience. So this slide, what you see here is the electrode manufacturing on the CNC milling. And the electrode may be copper or graphite is held onto a holder, and this holder gets onto the chuck. And the machining of that electrode is done in this setup. So after the machining is done, the entire setup goes along with the holder, goes onto the CMM machine where the electrode is inspected. The advantage of this is from this system, from the CNC milling to the CMM, the alignment in all the 3 axes is within 2 micron. So this is the best part of the entire system. And then once the electrode is inspected, it goes on to the chuck of the EDM, and again the same system, the chuck is here, and the 2 micron accuracy is carry forward. So even though there are multiple stages of machining, the accuracy is 2 micron is carry forward from the start till the last. So there is no addition of the tolerances because of multiple stages. The same thing has been applied for also for the inserts. If you see, these are the pallet system what we are currently using. This is an empty pallet, and then if you can see here, there is a insert on the empty pallet on the pallet. So this is on the milling machine of the 5-axis machine. So with this, what we are able to do is we are able to machine this entire insert in a single setting, and then this along with the pallet, the insert along with the pallet goes onto the EDM machine. So here again, the job also between the two or many machining operations gets to the same accuracy of alignment of within plus minus 3 to 5 microns. So in the entire manufacturing system, we have the accuracies inbuilt in the process itself. It is not dependent on the human manpower. No operator is giving this accuracy on the job or as well as on the electrode. So one of the main advantages is what we have in the system is we have taken the dependency in the operator, which means we get always 100% alignment accuracy, which obviously gives the end result for the mold. And in many cases, there are multiple electrodes. You use maybe 10 to 15 electrodes for an insert, and between the electrodes also the same 2 micron has been held. So eventually the mold insert is coming out with a very, very good precise tolerance. The second subject I want to discuss, want to share with you is on the standardization part. Of course, standardization can be done in all levels, starting from design. We have done standardization in designs, starting from design till the tryout. So as a sample, I'm just showing you this area, the tool holders. Formerly, we used to have many tool holders of many makes, many sizes, many length. But eventually what would happen is every CAM programmer will be using his own program, his own tool lengths, and then sometimes or many times we had crashes in the machine, which is not good for the job, not good for the holder, not good for the machine, and mainly not good for the delivery time of the mold itself. Sometimes we need to have to rework to replace that entire insert, which is of course takes a long time, and then we had to cut a sorry figure in front of the customer. So what we did was this is one of our standardization project where we standardized on a few lengths of tool holders, and also the tool holder make everything we have standardized. So all the CAM engineers have to choose only from this library. There's no other option, and we have probably reduced it to only 5% of our previous types of tool holders. So the programming becomes very easy, and for the tool presetting also it's very clear, and the management of tool holders also is very good. And we have not had any crashes after we have implemented this standardization of the tool holders. In addition to that, we have also done this presetting of the tools. So this is also a great value addition for the mold inserts. So we get very good accuracies and repeatability. So together, the standardization has helped us a lot. From the machining point, the 0-point system and standardization of tool holders has given us a lot of benefit in terms of quality and in terms of reducing the lead time and avoiding accidents. Of course, in machining, there are many other aspects, including the cutting oils, what we have used. That's also we have standardized, and many other aspects. Almost every aspect of the machining, we try to see whether standardization can be brought in. It's not only in the machining side, it's also from the other processes. Also, we are trying to do as much standardization as possible. Even in 0-point systems, we are enhancing. We wanted to make the entire shop floor under the 0-point system. Okay, then last one will be the BOP or the standard parts. So formerly we used to make the most of our standard items which we now buy, basically because we had the time to make them. One, we had the capability to make them. Number two, and the third thing, it was cheaper for us to make these standard parts. So it was a norm for us to get all this everything done in-house. So today, but our thought process has changed, and we buy all the standard parts from the reputed sources. So this has the main reason for buying the standard parts is the advantage or value that the customer gets at the time of maintaining the molds. Most of the standard parts are wear parts which requires replacement at some point of time in the mold. So when such an incident comes up, then the customer can straight away buy from the standard part supplier, and they fit it inside, and the mold is ready to produce without any concerns. But formerly there were some issues where the parts what we used to make, they used to be probably fit to use kind of approach was there, and it had some issues for the mold to come up into production as early as possible. But after we moved on to the standard parts, it's given very good comfort to our customers. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive, but the benefits what we get, if you look in terms of value, what we can give on the mold, it is phenomenal. So we buy if it is not available in the market, only then we make. Otherwise, we buy all the standard parts. The last one is smart mechanisms. Today we have many smart mechanisms like this, at least a few. The one on the picture here is already spoken upon by Salabsan, also has given some listing. So we have been using this for the past few years, 4 or 5 years now. It was a little bit, I would say it was difficult for us to take this decision of introducing this to customers, because we were also not very sure. We were skeptical about the performance, but having gone through the advantages, we tried in one of our machines, and we found one of our molds, and we found it was doing good results, and we started recommending this to a few customers now. So similar such smart mechanisms are available for early return mechanism, or a three-plate mechanism, or even for collapsible coats. So maybe we should get into, I would recommend using smart mechanism instead of age-old old technologies, especially in cases where the productivity is becoming very high. So to summarize, I just spoke about QCD, which is basically the value what the customer is expecting from the mold. And to deliver value for the molds have to be precise. There is no two ways about it. Whether the product needs that kind of an accuracy or not, if the mold has, the production has to be done well, and the 5 parameters of the customer have to be met. There is no other option other than the mold has to be precise. Precise in the sense there's no minimal variance from the 3D data, from what the design and the actual mold should almost be it's the same. And for which I've touched upon only the 0 point and standardization subject. Of course, there's a long list of things that can be done and that can be shared, but due to paucity of time, I've given only 20 minutes time. So I have to do whatever is best that I can do in 20 minutes. So I thought these two are very critical and probably very important for the other tool makers, whoever are not using the system, to invest and we want to get in good quality, high precision molds, which definitely will give satisfaction to the customer. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and patience.
Thank you, Sri Prakash sir. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. This is most important, right? Sharing the extensive knowledge and the success, the reasons for the success that you have been achieving, right? And that too in a very crisp and lucid manner. Very well presented in terms of content. QCD, we heard from Salabh Sangalji and now from you, and the meaning of value, what is value, and it's only precision and precision and precision all the way. And amazing to hear, accuracies of a few microns. So thank you so much for sharing your valuable experiences and your insights. We wish we had more time, but I'm sure we can carry this forward as probably a second part in upcoming webinars. Thank you so much, sir, once again. I would now like to go to the final session, that is the third session. Having introduced Mr. Abhinav Shah already in the earlier endowment presentation, I would request him to straight away dive into his presentation, which is about contemporary tooling solutions being implemented in automotive injection molds globally and in India. Abhinavji, I would request you to please cover your presentation in the next 25 minutes max. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gaurang sir. And once again, a very, very good afternoon to one and all present at the webinar. I would like to wish IPI for the success over the such interesting webinars and contribution to the plastic fraternity. Over the past 30 years, Madhu Group has been instrumental in pioneering innovative technologies to plastic tooling industry and processing industry. Madhu Group has enjoyed successful relationship with Kumza for over 26 years, bringing in contemporary tooling solutions to India, which is bringing in together a world of innovative production technologies. And respected Salabh sir and Sri Prakash sir has already gave us an insight of what the end customers, OEMs, molders expectations are in terms of the part quality. And following to Salabh sir, Sri Prakash sir also gave us an insight on how to achieve that. Now let us talk about those products, smart products, which can help us to reduce the downtime. In this slide, we can see animation and two images. On the right-hand side is the conventional lifter for the undercut, and on the left-hand side, we can see Kumza double rack system to release the same undercut. Kumza double rack system allows to demold undercut up to 60 mm, having draft angles from -55 to +35 degree with maximum ejection stroke of 125 mm. This, in turn, reduces the overall tool size. Also, its vertical function maximizes the tool strength as it eliminates the need of high precision angled housing in the core plates, and also machining in the ejector plate is drastically reduced. Let's talk about some actual example and cases. Firstly, let's see how the mold size reduction is possible using Kumza double rack system with actual facts and illustrations. We shall start with comparing an existing mold, which has a mold height of 1482 mm, manufactured with traditional lifters, and vis-a-vis what benefits will be achieved if the same mold was made with Kumza system. Now, the increase in mold height which is due to the longer ejection stroke and angular movement to release the undercut, it demanded that the mold had to be mounted on a higher tonnage machine than it actually was planned for. Now, let us see how Kumza double rack system can make a smaller but stronger and a reliable performing tool. As we can see, the part has undercuts on both the side, on the cavity and the core, which needs to be released via a lifter. Let us first talk about the undercut on the core side, which has a depth of 36 mm with a draft angle of -29 degrees. The left-hand side image shows us the complexity of the part and the machining required in the plates compared to the right-hand side image of Kumza double rack system. Now let us start the comparison of demolding of the undercut from the cavity side. Here the depth of undercut is approx 32 mm with a draft angle of -25 degrees. Here again, image on the right using Kumza double rack system shows the ease of machining compared to the complicated left-hand side conventional system. Let's talk about the other facts. As Salabh sir and Sri Prakash sir mentioned that the end customer's requirement is reduction of cycle time, ease of maintenance, no breakdowns, and no secondary post-molding operation, and importantly, the delivery time. So let's see how we can help on this. Taking this case, as compared to Kumza double rack system, the conventional system is difficult and consumes more time for alignment and finishing. Conventional lifter requires accurate angular machining to guide the lifters in the plate. And long angle shafts have to be perfectly aligned between the core plate and the ejector plate. Whereas in Kumza, the angle holes are free pockets, needs no accurate 5-axis machining. In conventional system, due to multiple parts and angular machining, it is difficult to provide symmetrical cooling around the part. And most importantly, the undercuts, as they tend to have more thicker section than overall part thickness. Whereas in Kumza lifter, the proximity of the cooling channel is better and closer to the part. We all know importance of the cooling, proximity of the cooling around the mold. Like Salabh said initially during his presentation, that how they were able to reduce the cycle time by identifying the hotspots in the mold. Now, if we have an even cooling around the mold, we are solving the issue right at the design stage. Conventional lifter also requires very accurate milling in the ejector plates for guide base and also needs thicker plates, whereas Kumza lifter just requires a counter bore and inner plate. Also, we heard about the cycle time. So let's see how this Kumza system can contribute in reduction of cycle time. Seeing this case, we saw that 340 mm smaller mold height could be achieved by using this system, which in turn could avoid using higher tonnage of machine when required. Kumza system also achieved reduction of 77 mm of ejection stroke on the cavity side and 61 mm on the core side, which in turn is equal to 266 mm of movement saved every shot. Let's see a case study of a same part being developed with conventional system and a Kumza system. Here again, the Kumza system achieved a saving of totally 150 mm of the mold height. Here is a picture of an actual tool built with the Kumza system of the part which we saw above. Let's straight away dive into another case study, interesting case study done at CMOLDS group between the conventional lifter and traditional lifter. On the LHS, we can see a typical assembly of conventional lifter where the space utilized is much more compared to the right-hand side Kumza double rack system, which allows even spacing of ejector pins and cooling channels. The left-hand side image using conventional lifter shows us that due to a lot of machining, the strength of the ejector plate is compromised. To summarize, by using this Kumza double rack system, CMOLDS group saved approx 60,000 euros by saving the steel, machining cost, and most importantly, the assembly time. This is another actual example of a door trim installed with a Kumza double rack system. This ends the Kumza double rack system solution. Now we dive into another interesting topic, that is the air entrapment in the mold. This is one of the biggest fear and the challenges that is being faced by the mold manufacturers and the processors. Let us see what happens through an animation. When the mold closes, the air is trapped inside the cavity. If injection starts, the air will be cornered, heated, and compressed by the plastic, producing poor quality plastic part. To optimize the injection process, as we know, we must take out the air from the cavity. There are several methods to accomplish this, but in all of them, actually it is the injected part that pushes out the air. To solve this, we have to create a vacuum. In this video, we can see the installation of vacuum jet sensor, vacuum jet pump, and air puppet valves. And all of this are linked and can be vacuumed through air valve or the clearance of the ejector pins and possibly through the venting lines. As we can see in the video, you need to seal the ejector pins and the parting line. If this is not possible, we can link the venting channels to the problematic area and suck the air out. With vacuum jet, when it is activated prior to the injection, a valve is opened and air is vacuumed, therefore leaving the cavity in optimal conditions for ejection. And also during the process of injection, the air can be vacuumed through the venting lines. So we are doing two things. One, taking the air out from the cavity before injection, also taking the air out continuously through the venting during the injection process. Let's now dive into some of the case studies. Here is the part which is of ABS 65% long glass fibers. The problem was the flow marks or glass marks on the component. By using vacuum jet system, a lower injection pressure was achieved, which was brought down from 800 bar to 500 bar. Also helped to reduce the cycle time by 4 seconds. And most importantly, the problems with visual appearance were solved. Hence, the scrap was brought down to 0. Here is another example of PC clear lens, where the challenge was again with visual appearance. With use of Kumsa vacuum jet, not only the weld lines and air bubbles were prevented in the critical area, but also the mechanical strength was increased due to the perfect plastic distribution. This is an example of a door trim where the challenge was to fill the plastic material evenly through cavity profile, mainly because of the highly ribbed speaker area. So we worked together with the mold maker, ensured to take the air out of the speaker zone and connected all the other air vents to the vacuum jet unit. This resulted the speaker grill filling with ease. Thus, there was a reduction of injection pressure, which avoided short fill and parting line flashes. This ends the value addition done through double rack system and vacuum jet. Now we go to another interesting product, that is servo mold. Now let us talk about servo mold solutions for thread, which is innovative unscrewing systems. Servo technologies offer countless possibilities for precise and accurate automation of rotational and linear movements, especially in injection mold making. To realize its potential, Servo Mold and Madhu Group bundles the experience of more than 20 years of mold making and automation and uses resulting to synergize and create a clean and efficient standard for automation of injection molding tools. Servo Mold offers a wide range of components from single drive units to ready-to-use unscrewing devices and complete unscrewing halves, all components specially adapted to requirements of injection molding tools. Here we can see examples of many projects Servo Molds has realized in the automotive sector. First, the oil pen case study, which contains a single thread which has to be demolded with a single worm drive unscrewing device. Servo Mold supplied the complete unscrewing device, including the drive unit, considering of servo motor and planetary gearbox, and the threaded core, including the lead nut. This mold was manufactured with 2 cavities. The unscrewing devices are installed at an angle. Again, in this project, Servo Mold supplied a complete unscrewing half. This includes the plate as well as all the gear components, drive units, and thread core sets, completely assembled and tested and shipped out. This specialty oil filter project has the challenge on the A side, that is a fixed side arrangement, where the screw bush of the hot runner system, as we can see on the right hand side top of the slide, has to pass through a special cooled insert in the unscrewing unit. Hence, to show the engineering involved in creating such an unscrewing device. Servo Mold has already made several spindle nut projects and are used in many places in the cars where motorized adjustment is required, including seat, steering wheel, mirror, and headrest adjustments. In this project, a complete unscrewing half was supplied again. This is another interesting project where a wasp thread V10 was realized in an inclined arrangement in a large component which is made of polyamide plus 30% glass fill. A single unscrewing unit was used, which is available from Servo Mold in several performances, classes, and sizes. Also, Madhu and AHP Merkle from Germany have developed cylinders with keyway slots along with mold oil port delivery and self-locking cylinders for automotive injection molds. As highlighted by Salabh-san initially, that cylinder also plays a very important role. So Merkle self-locking cylinder ensures and the measurements that the plastic material during injection does not force the core back and the parting line flashes are not seen. Also, the specialty about these cylinders are that their piston rods are hardened and grounded up to 64 HRC, and the cylinder housing has roller burnished. This ensures minimum downtime of the mold, which occurs due to cylinder failure. With this, I end this first session of my presentation. I would be resharing the screen again. I will now go on to present Mastiff hot runner solutions for automotive industry. As we all know, it has been 3 decades Madhu and Mastiff have pioneered the usage of hot runner systems in India. Headquarters of our partners are in New Zealand. Let's have a small glance onto the Mastiff corporate video. Thank you for viewing the video. Mastiff is globally present all across the world with technical centers at New Zealand, China, Vietnam, USA, France, India, Portugal, and Spain, with manufacturing location at New Zealand. Mastiff expertises in across entire industry segment, catering for automotive, medical, engineering, electrical, white goods, personal care, and packaging. The market trends for automotive is delivering a light-weighted automotive car with increased high performance and reinforced engineering resin. Agile production, which is continuously developed with JIT manufacturing process. Going premium with increased cosmetic standard for interior parts. All this is being addressed by Mastiff by providing robust hot runner solutions to process engineering resins such as heat sensitive and corrosive abrasive resin to ensure quick startup and flawless production and meeting the high standard of aesthetic requirement of the part. The key performance factors of automotive molds are balance of fill, improved gate cosmetics, abrasive and corrosive resistance mold, fast cycle times, and low cost of ownership. This is one of the most important factor. At Mastiff, the flow analysis provides customer molding insights at early stage of design. It helps to reduce the cost of change during manufacturing process. For challenging applications, we use high-end thermal analysis software like SigmaSoft. Thermal balance within 5 degrees Celsius at steady state ensures an even better balance of plastic when the material flows throughout the mold. At Mastiff, the melt channel sizes are optimized by studying the acceptable pressure drop and minimum melt residence on the color change application. Shrink fit deviation plugs eliminate dead spots at melt exit and thereby improving color changes. Mastiff uses clip-on design of tip insulators for ease of maintenance. Our system components guarantee 5 million plus short cycles with filled resins. As the market demands have increased in automotive application for multi-material parts, Mastiff has already have had extensive experience for multi-material, multicolor application to support customers' mold to produce better quality at economical and cheaper way. Let's have a look at the snapshot of the success stories. This is an LNL product which uses two multi-material shots. First is polyamide 30% glass fill overmolded with special material core. These are structural parts used for shocks absorption and damping. This is a ventilation duct produced with PP plus 30% talc fill. This is an automotive connector manufactured with raw material PEEK with 40% carbon fill. We have another connector which was produced using PPS 40% glass fill. This is subwoofer shield done for Hellerman Titan. This is PC plus PBS armrest, PC plus ABS armrest done for Rockwell Automation. Here we have PP tank shield done for Harley Davidson. We again here have two shots, two multi-material PC light lens done for JW speaker. Here we have an optical lens produced for BMW. This again was a two multi-material valve gate system. The fuel system part using polyamide plus 35% glass fill. This was again a challenging product done for Continental which used PPS plus 30% glass fill plus 30% talc fill. There have been several other case studies done for longer parts like garnishes and door trims here, but I have shown the interesting case studies which have been carried out using engineering plastic, which involves a lot of involvement at the manufacturing stage of hot runner system. All of these systems have been supplied to automotive industries are pre-wired screw-in systems which are ready to drop in. And most importantly, as we all know, that in automotive, sometimes the tools are designed in India, made in China, and runs in some other part of the world or maybe back in India. Here is where Mastiff delivers solutions in over 40 countries. Just to have a short view at our customers wherein we have tried to add value. This is where I end my web seminar, And I thank you all once again for your kind audience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Abhinav, for respecting those 25 minutes, especially because we were overshooting on the timeline. In view of the time schedule, we will not be able to take up the questions immediately, but they will be passed on to the respective speakers who can revert later with the contact details mentioned. With these words, it's my pleasure to call upon Mr. D. Radhakrishna Murthy, Secretary of Chennai chapter of IPI, to go ahead with the concluding remarks and kindly propose the vote of thanks. This will finally draw curtains to an extremely informative and a very well attended event. Thank you once and all. Over to you, Radhakrishna Murthy, sir.
Good evening, friends. This is one of the wonderful session we have gone through it, and I convey my best wishes to our chairman, national chairman, Mr. Pankaj Shah, and endowment committee, and Mr. Gaurang sir of Madhu Missions and Systems for making such happening in Chennai chapter. And it's really wonderful, sir. And thank you so much. And happy to see the response of this lecture overall. The entire program went on very well. And would like to thank our speakers, Mr. Salabh Sangal, Morereku Technology, presented on automotive injection molds, quality and customer expectations. Thank you so much, sir. Your presentation is very informative and knowledge sharing. And Sri Prakash sir, Mastercraft Engineering, presented an automotive injection molds and meeting customer expectations. Really wonderful session, sir. And it's really gone into a lot of insights about right from the all information we have given. And Mr. Abhinav Shah, Madhu Missions and Systems, lectures given on innovative molds. And he has explained various molds and everything. It's really highly informative. And thank you so much. And before concluding this, I request all IPI people and part of this thing, please try to get into the more number of people into this IPI. So you will keep getting the all messages and the information. And it's a purely knowledge sharing platform. And you can meet a couple of friends also. And your business also definitely will be established. And thank you, sir. Made this evening very informative. Would like to thank Mr. Sandeep Shinde for organizing this webinar once again. And also my thanks to Mr. Ramaswamy, National Treasurer, for witnessing this seminar. Once again, my sincere thanks to all our put their efforts to succeed this webinar. All the best. Have a nice weekend and please stay safe and happy day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. With this, we are concluding this seminar. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gaurang. Very nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
And
sir.
all speakers were very good, nice presentations with detailed
Yeah.
different
Gaurang, fantastic.
explanations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. We can conclude the event here and
Yeah.
take it forward to the next one. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, all of you, good night and have a nice weekend. Thanks,
Yeah,
Gaurang.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy, happy Janmashtami on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Same to you.
Thank you, sir.
Are we all quitting or?
Yeah, I think it's better, Abhay, we should all quit because
Okay.
the event is still open to this thing, right?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
connect later. We connect
Yeah,
later.
sure.
Thank you. Happy.
Bye-bye.